characteristics of a true leader include being visionary and the ability to communicate that vision in a way that resonates for people. You know, we say that you can't be a leader unless you have followers. And the ability to convey what you're trying to accomplish with enough meaning for your audience.
A true leader is someone who's willing to take a risk. I think courage is a big part of being a true leader, but the other thing that I think is critical is that you work towards collaboration. You know, I'll never forget the walks and talks I did with Dr. Burt when we were first thinking about volunteers in medicine. He had the foresight, and this was just amazing, I think, the foresight to suggest that this Volunteers in Medicine here in Jacksonville, Florida, actually be associated with a university, the University of North Florida.
A true leader is someone that is willing to do any job, the same job that they're asking someone else to do. Because true leaders are lead by example.
A good leader has to balance a certain amount of compassion with a certain amount of command for respect.
The number one characteristic for me is someone who wishes to serve, because really to lead, you must serve.
A true leader is a strong communicator, caring, consistent, and motivational.
The characteristics of a true leader, in my opinion, should be number one, humility, but humility with also self-confidence.
Being a good listener, also totally devoting self.
Someone who believes in the mission and the goals of the company or the government and supports the people in achieving those goals.
I would say a true leader is somebody who knows exactly where he's going, what he's doing, and have the strength to pursue that.
A true leader, I think, is a servant leader, someone who sees the privilege of their leadership position as a way to serve the community.
One word that describes me, it would be driven.
Empathy.
Team player.
Energetic.
Curious.
Authentic.
Humble.
Servant.
I would say heart.
Energy.
I would say that I'm very selfish. And I don't mean to be selfish in a bad way, because as I tell, for example, my kids, that if I'm doing good, you guys will be doing great. And if it's at work, if I'm doing the right thing, you know, we're going to be all good.
First, my mom and dad. My dad was like the coach and the official. My mom was the cheerleader. But the third person that I have to include in this list is my husband. Rod and I have been married for over 45 years. There's no question that we grew up together. And when I think about why Rod's had such an impact on me, it's really because he's the coach, the official, and the cheerleader all together.
I would have to say my mom. I've seen her be the wind beneath my father's wings and raise 3 daughters so beautifully and with a lot of love and understanding and a sense of humor.
Certainly a huge impact on my life was that of my father, who was a very generous, warm, loving person. My father had very few resources, but he was the proverbial person who would give you the shirt off his back.
My mom, and she has passed away, but she, more than anyone in my life, was my first and most important role model. She taught me about love, about acceptance, about forgiveness.
My dad. My dad is a physician. All during my childhood, I wanted to be just like him. The way he took care of people, with a combination of heart, soul, and intelligence, that was something I strove for.
My mother, Dr. Lois D. Gibson, who taught me how to care for people, how to be a deep thinker. She brought me lots of books, so I was an avid reader, and she taught me how to be personable and how to show people that you care about them.
The person who's had the greatest impact on my life is my husband. And I met Jerry 15 years ago. He's absolutely the most generous person, cares for people more than anyone I know or have ever met, and cannot do enough for people.
Across the street there was a lady, Miss Hart. That was her name. She was probably in her early 70s. She is the one who taught me the English. And one of the things that she did to me was to send me to John's College.
My parents, because they really set the example for me. They were both in education, so they stressed education, but they also stressed helping others. But definitely their focus on education and giving back to the community, I mean, in those early years of my life, I would say that they had the greatest impact.
The greatest impact on my life has not been one single person, but family. And it's immediate family growing up, and it's my family today. Because each and every one has been a part of making me who I am.
If I had to choose just one person, it would be my grandmother. She's the one who actually taught me about charity and philanthropy. And we would sew and crochet slippers and blankets for the cancer patients who were in hospice care.